Welcome to the Boss Gambling Show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 17 Vegas spread picks, last spread pick show of 2024. And if there's one thing I want to change, I am thinking about doing a video Friday where we can react to injuries, line movements, and if I change my mind, we make a separate video Friday. That's what we should do in 2024. Happy New Year. Let's get this money. First game, Thursday Night Football. We got the New York Jets at the Cleveland Browns. Browns -7. Browns to win in the cover. I want to do it. I want to do it, man, and I probably shouldn't, but I just think this Browns defense will completely destroy and manhandle this Jets offensive line. And credit to what the Jets did last week, but like I said, Sam Howell is a non-viable entity at this point. You saw Brissett come in, and you saw that game get close. I have tons of respect for this Jets defense, but at a certain point, don't they lose a bit of will? Don't they lose a bit of verb? I mean, they've just been watching this offense sputter and fold the whole damn year. I think the Browns beat their ass. Now, one thing I was really worried about when the Browns played the Bears, the Browns had no running game, and at least we saw that get a little bit better against Houston. Offensive line of the Browns is getting a little bit more healthy. I like the Browns. I think the Browns kicked their ass. If you bet this game, I would not smug my nose. This Browns team has put your boy through a pressure cooker this whole year. Yes, I'm up on their games, but we know how they go. Browns to win in the cover Thursday night. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell at the Dallas Cowboys. Lions +6. Money, money, money. Money. Lions win in the cover, make it a damn money pick. No, I think the Cowboys win the game, and I respect the Cowboys, but the money pick is on the Lions with the 6, and this game can go a lot of different ways. And let's look at that Cowboys-Dolphins game. Yes, we called it. Everyone was against us against the world like normal, but I was kind of impressed by the Cowboys in the second half. I felt like they battled. I felt like they showed resilience. I think they'll have enough to get past the Lions. But Ben Johnson might have had the best offensive game plan of the year last week against the Vikings, and we know this Vikings defense is no slouch. Now, what the Lions need to do here, I think they can run the ball. The Lions offensive line, the full starting five of Glasgow and all them boys, they were finally healthy last week. And I think this Lions offensive line controls the game. I think you can run it on Dallas. I think if Buffalo and James Cook is pushing you around for 200, I think the Lions can do 250. Now, sometimes do the Lions get a little bit cute and fancy on offense? Yes, but I think they've been getting back to basics. That's why they looked so good the last 2 games. Goff indoors, I can ride with it. I can roll with it. Lions defense obviously is a concern. Let's not dismiss that. We saw what Nick Mullins did to them last week, but I still think the Lions keep this close. Lions lose it by a field goal. Cowboys win the game. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. Dolphins +4. Dolphins win in the cover. And listen, I'm just sick of making apologies. We've pretty much bet and picked the Dolphins every single week. 10-5 against the spread. You can't take away anything from Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and what they did last week against the 49ers. They shocked the world, but also, the Dolphins just came off a shocking of the world, too. And when you give me the 4 points with this Dolphins team, with the energy and creativity they have on offense, I'm taking the 4. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I know you guys want to get down and worship the Ravens. Team wins one game, everyone gets down and says they're the best. It was really impressive what the Ravens did, specifically that defense picking off Purdy 4 times. But like I told you last week, going into the Cowboys game, do not sleep on this Dolphins defense. Vic Fangio is starting to find answers and solutions. We're seeing Bradley Chubb play good. We're seeing Jalen Ramsey get back to his old self before the torn meniscus. I like the way this Dolphins defense is developing, and you always worry about them against that Ravens run game, but I still think this Miami offense has 4 or 5 explosive plays in them that can tilt the landscape of this game. The pick I want you guys to seriously consider is Miami to cover with the 4 points. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Pats plus 12. Hoodie. Pats cover. Bills win. Not a lot of science. Listen, last week you guys have been kind of pounding me this whole year, and you know I'm a guy, I like to take the points when we see these giant spreads. Did you guys learn your lesson last week? We saw the Raiders with plus 10. We saw the Chargers cover with plus 13.5. I think the Pats keep it close. I think the Bills win. I'm not as sold on this Bills team as all of you guys, and it's kind of like the same reaction what we're reading about the Ravens today. That we had with the Bills after they beat the Cowboys. Sometimes we need to take a deep breath and understand some teams have juggernaut type games, but it's what you do the full 17 and when you get into the playoffs. I think this Bills team is vulnerable. I think the Pats defense is good. Give me Pats to cover, Bills to win. You do worry about Bailey Zappi. You do worry about this Patriots offense, of course. But I like how the Pats are starting to play more physical. We saw a big dosage of Zeke Elliott on Christmas Eve. I think we see it again. Pats cover, Bills win. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Chicago Bears. The Bears, Falcons plus 3. Falcons. Give me the Falcons to cover, Bears to win. I like the 3. I think this is going to be a close game. I think it comes down to a field goal. The only thing I worry about and why I can't put money behind the Falcons is I don't like when they play on grass surface. Like I even said this when they went to London against the Jags. I just don't like when they get out on real grass outdoors. I know everyone likes to talk about it with golf and dome teams who throw the ball, but I think Atlanta is also that rule. And I think Taylor Heineke probably should have been picked 2 or 3 times last week. The Colts didn't take advantage of it. Also, I just want to let everyone know, though, the Bears aren't going to run it for 200 yards against Calais Campbell and Grady Jarrett. So I think the Falcons can stop this running game, and I think that makes this game extremely close. And what I imagine is whoever gets this ball last kicks the winning field goal. It's going to be a 1 or 2 point difference. Give me the Falcons to cover, Bears to win. Not a lot of science. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Houston Texans. Texans minus 3.5. I want to make it a money pick. Listen, man, this Stroud stuff is turning into a mystery. I thought he would be back last week when we picked the Browns-Texans on Tuesday. I really did think he would be back. Everyone's assuming all the books are leaning to him being back, so I'm going to go Texans to win in the cover. The reason why it's not a money pick is because we know this Titans team can grind on you. And we know this Texans team is small at linebacker in the defensive tackle interior. We know there is a little bit of an issue of them, but why I'm going Texans to win in the cover is because I just think Stroud's phenomenal. And I do think this Tennessee Titans secondary is weak. We know they're good at rushing the passer. We know they're good at getting in their run fits. But if you're talking about covering, they're just not too good. I do worry about no Tank Dell. I've been saying that since he got injured. But Stroud will find a way. We'll see a lot of Noah Brown. Give me the Texans winning the cover with the minus 3.5. If this gets to 3, we got a big decision to make, fellas. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at Indianapolis Colts. Colts -3. Raiders to win in the cover. I want to go Colts, and I don't want to get emotional about that performance against the Falcons. Sometimes in this league, you go on the road and you just don't fucking have it. You just don't. It's how it is, and people tend to overreact. We don't do that. But one thing I was concerned about against the Falcons, I was really concerned that the Colts couldn't run the football. Every single time they ran it, they just got absolutely obliterated. And I don't even think Minshew played that bad. There's just not a lot of dogs at wide receiver. Pittman's banged up. And outside of Josh Downs, who's going to create separation? Who's going to make plays? And like I've been saying this whole year, this is the best Raiders defense they've had in 7-8 years. I know that's not saying a lot, but they proved that on Christmas. We saw how they hunted like a pack of starving coyotes, and it was impressive. And what they did to Mahomes, there's nothing to snub your nose at. Yes, we've been complaining about Rashee Rice and Justin Watson and all these Chiefs receivers the whole damn year, but we still got to tip the fedora to what the Raiders did. This team is playing with passion. This team is playing with a ton of energy, and I like that. And also, man, this Colts defense is soft as fuck. Outside of DeForest Buckner, is there anyone who can win a battle on the offensive line? Is there anyone? There's no one on that defensive line who played tough. We saw Tyler Algiers look like a prime Mike All-Star on Sunday. This Raiders team is physical. I don't care about Aiden O'Connell. I know Steichen's going to have Minshew in good situations, but give me the more physical team. It's week fucking 17. Give me Pierce. Give me the Raiders. Next game, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jags. Jags -7. Money. Jags to win in the cover. I think the Jags kicked their ass. And listen, we've been riding Carolina the last 3-4 weeks. We picked them with the points every single week, and they've come good. But now it's time to let this fish go off the hook and then roll it in a different area. And I think this Jags team is fighting for their life. And we did predict what the Buccaneers would do to them last week. But I'm not swayed. We know Lawrence is banged up. We know he's walking wounded. But I do think this Jags team has one last Alamo in them. And credit to Bryce Young. He finally had a good game in the league. I don't think that will continue. I don't like the Panthers' road form. I've been saying all year the Panthers look a little bit better at home. Like even earlier in the year, they beat the Texans and Stroud at home in Carolina. I just don't like the way they play on the road. And I think the Jags will be able to move the ball, man. I think the Jags get to like 21-24 here. And I don't think Bryce Young can get these boys past 10-13. Give me the Jags to win in the cover. Make it a damn money pick. And Peterson, man, he's got to get these boys ready to go, man. I mean, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat or anything like that, but some of the performances we've seen have been absolutely disgusting. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals, at the Philadelphia Eagles. Cards plus 10.5. Give me the Eagles to win in the cover. I think they're due to cover one of these. We had the Giants to cover last week. I believe we did. And this Eagles team's just, they've been playing like shit the whole year. They have. But this Cardinals team just can't stop the run. I mean, going into the Bears team, I think they're the worst run defense in the league. Did we see anything against the Bears that would really change our mind? I think the Eagles go off for 200, 250 rushing yards, and that kind of takes away the problems of the Eagles. The problems of the Eagles is I'm worried about Hurts. I'm worried about their pass defense. Kyler Murray didn't look too good against the Bears. He had the ball with a chance to tie the game, and he did fuck all. So give me the Eagles to win in the cover. I think they blow them to bits at the link. Next game, I got the Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants. Rams -6.5. Giants cover, Rams to win. I really like the Giants if Tyrod Taylor starts. Like, nothing against DeVito. I have nothing against him. It's just we obviously see that this Giants offense is more refined. They stay on schedule better when Tyrod's back there. And also, can I just say something? Like, I think the Rams are vulnerable, man. And I love the way Matt Stafford plays. Like, I gave him the nickname this year, Matt the Surgeon Stafford. When he's in the zone, when he's slanging it, when he catches heat, he's one of the best pure ball throwers in this fucking league. It's just, I respect this Giants defense a lot. And I think Dable will be able to create points and create opportunities for this Giants offense that isn't all that good. Now, you do have to worry about blocking Aaron Donald. But outside of that, the Rams don't really have the edge rushers or the other dogs on the defensive line to worry about. The big weakness of the Giants is blocking. I think they'll be able to do a decent job this game. Give me the Giants to cover, Rams to win. Like, I think this game is closer than people think. Actually, money, Giants with the 6.5. If Tyrod Taylor starts, be mature, listen to the words I am forming right now. If Tyrod Taylor starts, give me the Giants plus 6.5 in a money pick. I think this is a close game. I think this is a field goal game. I think the Rams going west to east in the cold weather. I don't like the fundamentals of that, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay Bucs. Bucs -3. Bucs winning the cover. Let's just stick with them. We've been on them the last 3 weeks. Let's just stick with them. Do I want to bet this? No, not really. But I have been saying all year, like, I feel like the Saints are the Ottoman Empire. Like, I feel like they're an aging, crumbling empire. When you look at this team, yes, they got some nice young guys like Olave, Shaheed, but at all the important positions like quarterback, offensive line, defensive line, they've just fallen off, and they're relying on people like Cam Jordan, who are damn near 40, to be game breakers. And I like the way the Bucs are starting to get their run game going. There's been a lot of talk about Baker, and yes, Baker has been playing better. Credit to Baker. But I do like the balance of this Bucs offense. There's a lot more balance than it was earlier in the year, and we are seeing a little bit more creativity. They're getting Baker out in the boot, using play action with him, and it's starting to look good. And I do wonder, how much fight does the Saints team have? Like, do they have an Alamo game in them after the Rams wasted their ass on Thursday night? I don't think so. Bucs winning the cover with the -3. Next game, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Washington No Names plus 13.5. Jacoby starting, give me the No Names to cover, 49ers to win. Like, of course, I get the psychology. We all think that this 49ers team will come out with a chip on their shoulder, a bad attitude, and ready to just slang it all day on the No Names. Like, I get it, but this Commanders offense has more pieces than people think. And every time Jacoby Brissett has came in a game, whether it be against the Rams, whether it be against the Jets, this offense is humming like a Mercedes-Benz. And I'm not saying they're going to do that against the 49ers, but if you give me 13.5, give me Jacoby, give me the Commanders. You do worry, because I think the Commanders probably have the worst defense in the league at this point. But you do wonder, what's Purdy going to do? How's he going to respond to those 4 INTs? I'm sure the 49ers win the game, but I think the No Names cover. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at Seattle Seahawks. Steelers plus 3.5. Steelers to cover, Hawks to win. And I get it. Do we like the Steelers in this spot going east to west against the Seahawks team that is explosive, that does have a ton of talent? I don't love it, but I think the Hawks win late, but I really like the Steelers with the 3.5. Like, this has a 3-point game written all over it. Even if you look at Seattle games, like, look at their game against the Eagles, look at their game against the Titans. They just can't seem to pull away on this Seattle Seahawks offense. They'll have 4 or 5 possessions a game where they're just not competitive. and it could be the offensive line. It could be Geno Smith. But my big issue with the Hawks is their offensive line, and I think Watt will get stops, keep this game close, and I think the Steelers' defense can fight. Now, the Steelers' secondary is weak, but is Abraham Lucas going to be able to block TJ Watt? I don't think so. The only issue why this isn't a money pick is because the weakness of the Seattle defense is their secondary. Do I trust Mason Rudolph to exploit that? No. Give me the Steelers to cover, Hawks to win. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Bengals +7. Give me the Bengals to cover, Chiefs to win. I don't want to bet this one. I don't want anyone betting this. But at a certain point, don't we have to just kind of take the points against the Chiefs until they prove that this offense can get moving again? And you do wonder what the cumulative toll of all those hits the Raiders gave Mahomes. Like, there was no big, nasty hit, but they got him a lot of times, man. They probably hit him like 10 to 11 times in that game. And I do think it will have an effect. And I don't think this Bengals team is going to quit. I do think this Bengals defense will have a better day at the office. Nothing is more humbling. Nothing is more motivating than having the Steelers slap you up across the head. Give me the Bengals to cover, Chiefs to win. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Denver Broncos. Chargers +5.5. Chargers cover, Broncos to win. Man, there just isn't a lot of science. I did feel like the Chargers would get a new coach bounce against the Bills, and we saw it. And I think they'll play hard again. It looks like Bosa might play. He's coming off the IR Wednesday or Thursday. Give me the Chargers cover, Broncos win. Not a lot of science. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings -2. Money, money, money. Money. Vikings to win in the cover. It's always great after coming off a tough loss against the Vikings to have Jordan Love and this Packers defense coming into town. Now, Nick Mullins has turned the ball over, and at times he's looked terrible. But when you have a player like Justin Jefferson, I'm sure a lot of you didn't watch that Vikings-Lions game, but some of the plays Justin Jefferson made in the second half against the Lions, he pretty much just willed the Vikings to stay close. And with a Packers secondary that can't cover anyone, with a Packers defensive line that's getting little to no pressure, with a Packers team that just seems like they quit. They just gave up 30 points to the Panthers. They just gave up over 30 in Lambeau to Baker. Even if it's Jaron Hall instead of Nick Mullins, I like the Vikings' chances. I like Kevin O'Connell, and I like this Brian Flores defense to bounce back. The first time they played Jordan Love, he was confused. It was in Lambeau. I know we had Kirk, but he was absolutely pitiful. Give me Flores, give me O'Connell, and look, listen, man, I feel like Joe Barry at defensive coordinator for the Packers is a dead man walking. Vikings take care of business at home with the -2. Make it a damn money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. Have a great new year. I appreciate you guys. Have a great 2024. Let's get this money. Let's keep slanging.